Welcome everyone to the Power Half Hour. This week we have a very special guest, one of our very own, Mr. Neil Sharma. Only 2 years in the business and absolutely crushing the real estate industry right now. Up and coming superstar. Man, thank you for being here. Great to have you.
Thank you so much, John. I'm super excited to be here, and very excited to be on your the podcast here. I think it's awesome.
Thank you. I know how busy you are, just going out there serving clients every single day. And man, this man does not relent. On Instagram, it's sold after sold, listing after listing. But do tell us, I mean, this is now, right? Tell us how you started in real estate.
So I got licensed in January of 2021. I was previously in the car business. I worked in the car business for over 5 years. And I actually got started in real estate because during COVID, I got laid off. So I was laid off from my old job selling cars. And I was like, you know what else can I do? Yeah, like it just, at that moment, I'm like, everybody was off. The dealerships were shutting down. Places were, nothing's really going on at the time. And I decided to sign up for my real estate course in 2020. And I ended up passing. And then 2021, I got licensed. And then I kind of just went on from there.
Yeah, it sounds really simple. I think that's a journey in itself. So you started selling cars while in university studying criminology.
Yeah.
And so you did that for 5 years and then jumped into real estate.
Yeah.
You were shadowing just do tell us about that whole
Sure.
journey.
Yeah, I can tell you the whole thing. So basically, when I got hired at selling cars, I was working for Open Road Auto Group. I started there. I was about 19 years old, 20 years old, and I got in right away to, I was working at BMW Langley. Shout out to those guys, a great team over there. And I stayed there for quite a bit of time. I also went to school because I wanted to become a lawyer. I was looking to study criminology, law enforcement, something like that, work in the criminal justice field. And I did that. I did my degree. It took me longer than usual because I was obviously working as well. But I fell in love with the whole sales thing, this whole sales process. Just helping, clients and working in a sales environment was just something I just really enjoyed. So once I finished my degree, I went full time, and I was already full time, but I went full on into car sales. I love cars. I'm a huge car guy, so big passion of mine. So I loved it. It was awesome. But I always I had a lot of clients. Like some of my clients some of the realtors I've even worked with, they know me because they purchased vehicles off me. So it was pretty funny. Like, yeah, we'd run into each other and they're like, "Hey, you're not there anymore." I'm like, "No, I'm doing real estate." So it was cool. Like, just speaking to them, I'd pick their brains as they would come in and ask them, how's real estate? What's it like? And a lot of them, to be honest, motivated me to do it as well. They were like, "Hey, man, you should do this. You would crush it." And I was like, I don't know. Like, I know everything about cars, and I was like, I love cars. So I just kind of stayed in that in the car business. I never really thought about it fully. And then, going to school was already tough enough as it was, and doing that. And once I graduated, you kind of get this time where you're like, I want to take a little bit of time and just work and just, and then that's when COVID hit, right? So COVID comes across. So I was 2020, I was 25 years old. I got my license then. I'm 27 now. And then that's the time when COVID hit, I'm like, there's not much to do, right? Everyone's at home. Everything's on lockdown. Schools are closed, everything's closed, but real estate course was still open. So I decided to do it. I did the online training, I did everything. And then luckily I passed. I passed in November of 2020, and then I got officially my full license in January. Of 2021. That's when I could actually start, selling and stuff like that. So, and I was still, so I had both jobs. I did both for a little bit. I didn't just jump into real estate. No, not like that. Not like that. So I stayed probably for about 4 months. I just kept my license. I sold a few homes. I already prepared a couple people beforehand. Like, hey, I'm getting licensed. So first week I was licensed, I did about 2 deals. And I had those clients already, from referrals, people I know. And then after that, I decided to just do cars and real estate. And then I knew that I had to go full time, just like any sales job. You got to go full time. So I decided in March to go full time. So I quit BMW and I went full time into real estate.
So full time into real estate after quitting
March.
BMW.
Yeah.
Did you said you got laid off or did
Yeah.
you quit?
No, I was laid off originally, and then when I got
Okay.
called back to work, yeah, so I was laid off actually. So 2020 in March, I got laid off. 2020
Oh,
March,
got it.
and I was laid off probably until I would say September, October.
So six
Um,
months. Yeah.
yeah, about 6 months were laid off. I think majority of the staff, sales staff, was all laid off during that time for COVID,
Mm.
and then that's when I took that time to study, and that's when I passed my test and did all that. I went back to work. I had to go back to work from September to then, and then as I got my license, I started doing a little bit of shadowing, talking to a couple agents in the area, seeing who would
Mm.
I could pick their brain. Some agents, people are willing to help, and obviously people are busy, so it was nice talking to a few people I spoke with. Um, and then I decided, if I need to go full time into this, we were still uncertain about COVID at the time, so I thought maybe I'm going to get laid
Mhm.
off again, right? So I was like, you know what? I don't want to work. I got to work for myself, and that's kind of what
Yeah.
motivated me to just go all in, and that's kind of what happened. I just went all in from there. Um,
Awesome.
and March 2021, yeah, I went all in.
All in, guys. That's what, when you commit full time, you burn the boats behind you. Like that's when you can start to really take off. So, first couple deals you did from family and friends, people that you know. Now, what's the majority of a business? Where does that come from?
So majority, I would say probably about 70%, 60 to 70% of my business is all online. Online generated, yeah.
70%, guys. That's
Yeah.
phenomenal. And when did you start this whole online lead generation thing?
So I started that. I tried a few different options originally. So I started actually probably around like April, May, right when I got in. I knew about lead gen. I just didn't know too much about it. So I did waste a lot of money in the beginning on lead generation because I didn't know too much. There's 100 lead gen companies offering you this and that and this and that. So it was tough because they're expensive. They're not cheap, right?
Hmm.
You gotta pay to play. So I started off kind of probably I would say so March, April, probably about May. In May, I signed up for lead gen, and then I just stayed with it from there. And then I tried a bunch of different ones.
Oh, okay. So not you didn't just try one of them. You tried a bunch of different platforms and lead generation tools. And which one did you land on?
So right now, I landed on Think. I use Commissions Inc. right now.
Okay. Okay, cool.
That's kind of what I've been with since probably about August of 2021. So I've been with them for over a year and a half. But while I've used them, I've tried other platforms as well. The only thing
Mm,
with them is, yeah, they're a little bit more price on the pricier end of things
yeah.
for the lead gen platforms, but that's kind of where I started off. So I just got comfortable with them. The old brokerage I used to work with when I started in January, they used them as well. So I kind of had familiarity
Um,
with them.
got
So I
it.
was like, you know what? And I didn't know too much about the other ones, but when I found out, there's so many out there and stuff like that, I've been actually experimenting with new ones now, just to try to see what else would be better and fit, the platform a little bit more. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where I started off, and that's where I landed with. But I've tried everything, and now
Wow.
being with EXP, having the benefit of having KV Core, which is free CRM, which is kind of one of the reasons I switched over too. I thought,
Mm,
if you're saving costs on CRM costs going towards to joining a company like EXP, right? And now even if I keep my current platform, I have an additional platform to use as well, right? It just doubles down on everything, so it kind of worked out better in my favor, right?
man, you are unstoppable. Most people would take a lot of time thinking about which platform and then kind of dabbling, dabbling, dabbling. You went all in on everything. How
Yeah.
are you so unstoppable? Like, are you not scared?
Of course, there's been times, you get scared but I kind of realized, like this is it. Like, so, I think, without feeling that sense of fear, um, you're not going to get anywhere. I'll be honest, right? I think there was a time probably, in July where I almost went back to the car business, 2021. I almost quit real estate. I didn't do
Whoa.
sales for about 2, maybe 3 months. And I'm like, you know
Mm,
what? This is not working for me. And I'm so comfortable in the car business because it's more of like a monthly hustle versus a yearly hustle. You
mm,
start from zero at the start of the month and you go all the way to the end of the month. You crush 20 units or whatever, 15 to 20 cars. If you sell, you get a check, your constant check. With real estate, you're not getting a constant check, right? You got to really
mm.
put in the work to get that constant check coming in. And that's kind of where, in that time frame, I was really considering going back and just thinking, maybe it wasn't for me. I gave it my shot.
Yeah.
But something inside of me was like, you know what? If I wanted to go back, I didn't want to go back because I wasn't doing good. I wanted to go back because I wanted to go back. So I was like, you
Mm,
know what? Like, let's just try it. Let's just keep going. I was like, you know what? Until, let's say my back's against the wall, let's just keep going and see what happens. And luckily, it just picked up. Like, honestly, August, I think I did like 2 transactions. Then I did like 4 transactions the next month, and it just started picking up and picking up for the end of the year. And in like those 4 months, I did over 6 figures in GCI of that 4 months being there at the brokerage I switched over to, and it was good. It was awesome, and then I just stuck with it. I just kept going, kept going, kept going. And I knew real estate was the way though. Like for me personally, like I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, this is good because early on when I was young, I invested in pre-sales. I purchased a
mm.
few and I sold them, with my old agent. And I made some good money on them. And I was like, you know what? Like the amount of money you can make off these, I'm like, why wouldn't I just be involved in this myself, right? And that's kind of just made me, stay with it even more.
That's amazing. We're glad you didn't quit. And now that we get to work with a rock star like yourself, so I'm
No,
truly
thank you.
blessed to be partnered with you, man. And talk a little bit about having your back against the wall. Why do you think people work with such urgency when you're back against the wall and work better in that mentality?
Yeah, I think it puts you in like a sink or swim. Either you're gonna drown or you're gonna make it out, and that's kind of the thing how it puts you in. For me, a lot of us, even you talk about your whys, why you do things, right? And at the end of the day, like I just wanted to do good, and I just wanted to work hard, and that's kind of how I feel, and I feel like when you're back against the wall, you have no other choice. Some people do fold 100%. It's a lot easier to quit. And for me, like the easy thing would have been to quit and go back, to a comfortable job where I'm making good money.
Yeah, totally.
And that would have been probably the simplest thing, probably the most least stressful thing for me. But I decided, like this is not what I want for the future. This is something I want to build. I'm looking at building a brand, building a business, and just building something, building a bit of a legacy like that, right? And how can I do that
Absolutely.
unless I don't work for myself? And and I like that fact. And I also felt, a little bit insecure at the time that, somebody else could take away my job again. If something happens
Ooh.
again, you think like, oh, if this happens again, COVID hits again, or another thing comes again, somebody else could come and they dictate whether you're making money or not. And I don't like that. I didn't like that feeling. So I realized like, unless I don't want to get back to that feeling, I got to keep working hard and keep pushing myself.
Comfort is a growth killer, I think.
Yeah.
And if you really want to grow, you got to make yourself really uncomfortable. And you've done so well in the past 2 years, Neil. How do you keep being uncomfortable and growing where you are right now?
So, for me, I'll tell you, like, I get motivated by certain things I want. So for me, it's a lot of the times is if I get something that, I'm like, this is a goal of mine. I want to reach this goal. I'll go and let's say get a new car or get something, buy something expensive or do something that will make it motivate me to kind of go to get those things, right?
Mm,
Everything, people have different things that motivate them. Cars always motivated me. So I went out, got a fancy car, went out, did all this, and it just kept motivating me to do more and just if I want to do these things and more often and also provide for the family, get my wife whatever she likes, get the family whatever they like, and it's just stuff like that just makes me happy and it motivates me. So it just keeps pushing me, right? And I think that's kind of the drive. I just keep staying hungry like that because I know if I'm not calling people, somebody else is. If they're talking to you, they're talking to other people as well. But what makes you different? It's all about sense of urgency, talking to clients, having a good script in place. And I think those play probably a huge factor in kind of the way that I do my business. Is that I like if you ask my wife, anytime we go out, I have my iPad, I have cellular on my iPad. It's with me everywhere. And the iPad, the reason I take my iPad with me is because my phone, obviously the phone's better, but the iPad, I can reply to text messages through like the CRM system. I can touch base with my clients on there. But even if we're out for dinner and a hot lead comes in and somebody wants to call right away, I know exactly I can pull up Paragon, look up the properties, this, that, and get on the phone, right? And then we've had times like that where, she gets kind of annoyed by me, but it's part of the game, right? So,
It is
um,
part of the game. Yeah. How do you balance the relationship, the marriage now? Because you're newlyweds, right? Almost
yeah,
a year in.
yes, just over a year.
Yeah. So how do you balance that marriage versus like workload?
I think so. Me and my wife have been together for quite a bit of time, so I think she kind
Okay.
of knows. She knows about me, and she knows how like my lifestyle was and is currently. So even when we started dating and stuff like that, like I was always busy, just always working, 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 and I think she's adjusted to that as well. And having a supportive partner is something huge. So any single agents out there, if you find somebody, make sure they're a supportive partner. And I think, to be honest with you, John, I know this probably might sound weird, but getting married, I think, elevated my business as well,
Hmm.
because it just kind of made me focus more again. I'm like, you know what?
Yes.
I have somebody else now who also depends on me,
Right.
somebody else who, would rely on me. And it kind of just made me think a little bit, you know, um, more into the future versus short term, right? And I think that did play a fact too. Getting married was, I think, a motivational thing for me as well. My wife's 3 years younger than me, so she's 24, and getting married, she's 24. I'm 27, so at that time, I know that um, just being together all the time and working together would be something great. She does her own thing now, and like she has her own career and stuff like that. But just having that kind of balance and respecting both careers, I think, helps definitely manage the business. And for me too, like I could be working all the time, and my wife has everything ready for me and has everything prepared, and it just kind of keeps that support system going, right? And that's kind of what you want in a partner, especially somebody like in a position where I'm just constantly go go go.
Yeah.
I think that plays a huge role.
Yeah, definitely find the right partner in real estate, or else your life, it might not work. And, I'm blessed to have a great supporting system, and my wife is a superwoman. I'm sure your wife is as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I can get out of bed sometimes and all this setup that I see right now, this desk, this computer, it's all done by her. I had known nothing about anything but selling real estate, right? So get a good partner. Thank you for sharing that. Um,
No worries.
Dude, I'm so motivated talking to you right now, man. I just want to go and make some calls. But you're legend in the making. You're starting a team. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, so I'm going to be announcing in the next couple of weeks. I'm bringing on a team. I just signed on one agent now, and they're going to be starting up with me, and kind of just growing from there. I'm looking to expand as well and kind of just keep growing. The business is picking up, and it's there's so much you could do as a solo agent, but honestly, it's better off like when you want to grow and help another agent grow as well, right? Having that
Yeah.
team structure, like your team, very successful, crazy big team that you have, right? And that's awesome. And that's kind of like I realize, as a solo agent, there's so much I could do, but
Hmm.
again, there's so much more you could do with a team. And having those agents on the team, their success is my success. So you want to build your team members to be successful. And that's why, even me, I was on a team before, and I kind of know what the team structures are like. I've seen what it's like, and I've kind of built my team to be more in favor of my agents versus myself. And that way,
Oh, yeah.
keep
I love that.
keep keep that structure going, right? Teach them all the tricks, the tips, all that stuff, and kind of help them grow as well. Because if you have a happy team, then you're going to be a happy team leader there as well. So
Yeah, I've always heard that the raving fan culture has to, in a company, has to start from within. So really, the agents that we enroll and partner with are our best customers. And then if you treat your best customers well, then they treat our clients, our real estate
yes,
clients really well. So that's how it really works from within. I wanted to circle back because online leads is more of a myth to people, right? I
yeah.
don't know why people make it so complicated, but it's just literally picking up the phone, look at the lead, right, and you call, right? No matter what script you have, you just call. But the question is, how long does it usually take for you to convert that lead from it first comes in until you do the transaction with that specific online lead?
So for me, honestly, it ranges. I've had a client where I spoke to on Monday, and by the next day we wrote a contract. I've
Okay.
had clients, yeah, I've had that happen numerous times. I've had a lead where I spoke to last year, and they're touching base with me 2 weeks ago and saying, "Hey, now's the time to buy," or "Now we're looking." And
Wow.
it just depends, right? I think the problem is, I think what people think it's such a myth is because I think people, when they first experience it, they're just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Again, if you were in their position, you're getting a phone call from a realtor or somebody random answering your phone, asking you, if you're looking to buy or sell, if you need anything, assistance, right? You're going to be like, well, like, why is this person calling me or this and that? And it's just, I think people have a big fear of rejection as well. So I
Mm.
think there's just people need to kind of like, especially realtors, sorry, they need to kind of adjust to the situation and kind of, just go out there and just try it. You never know what works. I know some agents that tried online lead generation. They hate it
Mm.
completely. And they stick to door knocking, stick to their mail outs and all that stuff. And it works great for them, organically
Mm.
generating, farming the area. It works great. And don't get me wrong, that is a really good way to do it. For me, I tried those things and I still do some of it.
Right.
But I realized that, for me being in the online world and kind of having this, background where car business, we're constantly cold calling or, calling clients as well. Um, I feel like this was mainly kind of better suited for me. And it's just, I just
Mm.
have that natural way of, speaking to these people because I did it for so long, so many
Ah.
years of cold calling, so many years of calling people. So it just kind of helped, I think, played a role there.
Definitely. So again, it's not for everyone, but you chose it to be your bread and butter. But there's so many other ways, guys. I'm not saying online leads is the be all end all, but you're just really, really good at it. So sometimes you can cherry pick these deals, but sometimes they take a lot longer. But you just need to call at the end of the day, right?
Exactly. At the end of the day, like you just have to think about it. Like if this person is talking to you, registering with you, or speaking with you, or signing up on your website, or clicking on your landing page, or whatever you're running, Google ads, Facebook ads, whatever. If that person is doing it with you, they're doing it with 10 other people, right?
Ah,
So
fair enough.
it's the you gotta it's whoever's quickest. Talk to the person, get in touch. I've called leads before myself where, I've lost and they're like, oh, I already
Hmm.
spoke with someone this, an hour ago. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
yeah, oh, this other person's, gonna help me and stuff like that. It happens, right? And you can't get unmotivated. You just got to say thank you so much, no problem, and just move on, right?
fair enough. Fair
Remember
enough.
one thing too. It's all a number game. The more people you talk to, the more people you're gonna end up speaking with, the more people you're gonna end up booking appointments with, the more listings you're gonna get, the more buyers you're gonna help. At the end of the day, that's literally it's not rocket science. It's literally a numbers game. You speak to 10 people a day, you might, if at a 1% ratio, or you speak to 100 people a day at a 1% ratio, or you speak to 100 people in a month, 1% ratio. So just do your numbers and kind of work it out. If your closing ratio is 1% or 2%, work that number out as well. So I think people just have a hard time grasping that fact.
Hmm.
And I can almost, if somebody came and sat with me for an hour and we spoke, or a whole day, and we called 100 people, I guarantee, we're going to get one appointment or one something out of it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not difficult. I just think agents need to have that kind of discipline to be like, okay, if I speak to 100 people, and not call 100 people, speak to 100 people. You need to talk to them,
Ooh.
right? You want to get them on the phone. You don't want to just leave a voicemail, stuff like that. You got to end up speaking to the client. And I think that's as simple as it is, right? Um,
You make it look so easy, but that just sounded like really hard because 100 guys, not 100 calls, 100 people you talk to get one appointment. Just depends how fast you want these appointments. You need to talk to 100. It's a 1% ratio. It is what it is. It's a numbers game. It's not rocket science. You did share with me last time though. You call not in the morning,
no.
not on the weekdays. What do you do? That's
So
different.
I like to call on the weekends. So I do a lot, majority of my calls I do on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. If I'm not taking clients out or if I have client appointments, I'll always book them through open house time. So I'll go there and still take my buyers out or help my sellers or whatever. But for myself, I like to make my calls on the weekend. The reason being is I've noticed personally that I have a huge, much higher success rate of getting that person on the phone on the weekend. I call
Mm,
them on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Thursday or whatever. During the week, chances of voicemail are very high. On a Saturday or
mm,
Sunday, midday or kind of in the early, like not early morning, but like early afternoon. Chances of them, I've always majority of the clients will pick up the phone, and that's the way I do it, right? And it's worked for me. Saturday, Sundays are kind of like the best days for me to make my calls. And I think that, and the one thing is too, is that it's ahead of the competition. Majority of agents aren't making calls on Saturday, Sunday, right? They're out. So if I'm calling someone at 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning and they're out, for breakfast or brunch, they're going to answer the phone and just have a quick
Right.
conversation with me. And I've had it where I've talked to somebody at 11 o'clock on a Saturday and I'm showing them the property at 2:30 at an open house, and I'll be there and I'll meet them there. Right. And next thing you know, we're writing an offer on Monday because they like the house on Saturday and Sunday, or I'll book a tour on for the following day. And it works. So it's worked for me. I don't see why it wouldn't work for anyone else.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Guys, think and grow rich. Think a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Last but not least, you were thriving at your previous brokerage already. You were doing a ton of deals, business was good. So
Yeah.
why EXP for you?
So I'll be honest, like with EXP, before when I got my license, I never even thought about EXP. I'll be honest, like right off the bat, I never even thought about it when I first got licensed in January of 2021. It wasn't even on my radar of brokerages. And then, but the thing is this, I was kind of, I think, to be honest, I was a little bit, I didn't know too much about it, honestly, right? I didn't really want to hear about it and stuff like that at the time because I was like, you know what, I need to be at a brokerage. And a lot of people talk about being at the brokerage, like in person, and not having a
Mm-hmm.
cloud brokerage. And I didn't really know the benefits of it and stuff like that. And yeah, I was doing really well at my previous brokerage, but what attracted me to EXP, like I met with you, I've met with Grinder before. I met with Grinder probably like a year ago. Um,
Oh,
yeah, even before, and I was, he was telling me about it, and I kind of learned about it, but it took me a bit of time to research it. And then I think the main reason for me joining EXP was once I really learned what it's all about, I'm like, this is a no-brainer, right?
mm,
Um, I think that's the problem, right? People have a stigma around it from before. A lot of, oh, everyone recruits. I don't recruit. Like, you're not going to see me posting stuff about, hey guys, this and that, trying to actively recruit. I sell real estate, right? That's my job. And I think majority of agents, like more than like 80% sell real estate at EXP, or 90%. Um, and the reason for I joined is once I learned the systems, having the free CRM is huge, right? For me, online, I'm a big online guy. Having that is a big factor there. The fact that you can build a passive income, especially if you're building a team or helping agents along the way. I noticed that at a traditional brokerage, it's hard for agents to really spend time with you, senior agents or more experienced agents, when they have their own business to run, right? There's
yeah.
no genuine benefit for them at all, right? Sure, there could be like, small incentive from the brokerage side, but I realized that I'm not going to get, their secrets of how they become successful by having a one-on-one meeting with them. They're not going to spill the beans. They're not going to tell me everything I need to know. With EXP, the nice thing is like even having Grinder, having you, the stuff that you guys, this knowledge you guys have shared just in general is worth it right there, because at the end of the day, like nobody would tell you these things and how to systemize your business and how to help your business grow like
Mm,
this, because there's no money factor and more benefit for half those agents, right? With EXP, it's like everybody shares wealth, everybody collaborates, and that's huge. Collaboration over competition. A lot of people have been saying that lately. A lot of
yep.
brokerages have been saying that lately. But EXP, I think, is truly about collaboration over competition. We collaborate so much. I haven't seen this much collaboration at any brokerage I've been at, right? And just having that sense of family that everybody is honestly available at all times. I've been in a situation where I need to get a hold of a managing broker. I'm calling a managing broker and they're not answering the phone, or it goes to voicemail. I'll get a call back the next day and stuff's already, gone wrong. With EXP is that, I need to get a hold of anybody. I have somebody, I can send a message to one of the managing brokers on here. I can speak to
Yeah.
one of you guys. Everybody's available. And I like that, right? It's just having that kind of the systems in place. And I think, now having you as president, and I think that's going to be even a bigger, another reason right there, right, to join. The new things that will be coming, having you there to kind of watch over it would be, I think EXP is going to be crazy coming up.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing that. Obviously, being in my position, my job is to make sure that every agent gets taken care of. The agent experience is phenomenal. And three words that always come to my mind is I'm providing all my clients with impeccable customer service. Now I get to provide all the agents at EXP here with impeccable customer service. And I love what you said about collaboration, because the culture is all about collaboration. And that is our culture. I came here for revenue share, stocks, and lead gen, but I stayed because of the collaboration. So thank you for sharing that, man. And thank you so much for being here today. If you have one piece of advice for all the agents out there listening to crush 2023, what would it be?
My one piece of advice to all the agents is pick up the phone and call. That's it.
Yes.
Call.
My man, dude, can't be simpler enough than that, guys. Just pick up the phone and call. And if you're looking to join Neil Sharma's team, please reach out to him on social media. He's starting a team that's super exciting. Neil, thank you so much for today. Thank you for all that you do. I appreciate your partnership. All the best to you, sir. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.